Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bearded Mystic podcast, and I am your host, Rahul N. Singh. Thank you for taking out the time today to either watch or listen to this podcast episode. So today I wanted to talk about, where do I start if I am a follower of non-duality? Now, mind you, this is coming from the perspective of traditional non-duality, so Advaita Vedanta, and if we had to think about where do I begin, what's the best way to start, how can I truly understand Vedanta? So what we're going to be doing now and then is reading from Vedanta Sara, which is a text by Sadhanandaji, and we will go over that. The whole point is that as we're doing these daily kind of spontaneous discussions, reading from Vedanta Sara may be helpful for those that are beginning on this journey. So we'll title those as Vedanta Sara sessions. It's something that Swami Sarvapriyanandaji recommends, and obviously whatever Swamiji recommends, we take it very seriously. But it's one of those foundational texts which gives you a list of definitions, and so with those definitions you can rightfully understand what this spiritual foundation that's required for Advaita Vedanta, it's all there basically for you to take in. Now, what I also suggest is, so once we've read that, that means that we'll probably go into like a daily little kind of session into reading the Upanishads or something like that. So, this is something spontaneously I'm thinking about. So, sometimes there's days when I probably don't have much to talk about, and those are perfect for those occasions. But we can go into going through the process for traditional Advaita is, okay, you read a foundational text. This is something I recommend. But what we should start off with is the Upanishads. So the Upanishads will tell us exactly the knowledge of Brahman very directly. It's the core philosophy, and this is required reading. Now, I've been thinking about how we can do this, because I would love for us to read the Upanishads, but with the commentary of Adi Shankaraji, so we can understand it together and go through it together like a proper study. So what they do recommend is first to start with the Upanishads, obviously with the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya, because that is where the foundation of Advaita Vedanta is formulated. Then you go to the Brahma Sutras, or known as Vedanta Sutras, and they kind of they're aphorisms, they're little sutras, they're little sayings, and they're very terse, and it's not for everyone to understand. So that's where you kind of need the guidance of a commentary. So it's really important that that is also read, like the Brahma Sutra is read with the commentary. Then you have the Bhagavad Gita. Now, the Bhagavad Gita is basically, so if the Brahma Sutras is basically addressing, so Shravana, so you're listening, is the Upanishads. Manana, which is the kind of the contemplation, reflecting and doubts and doing all that type of work, making sure there's logic. That's where the Brahma Sutras come in with the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya. And then comes the practical aspect, the nididhyasana aspect, which you could say, of the practical application of the teachings of the Upanishads is in the Bhagavad Gita, and that's also should be read with the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya. Now, the good thing is that all of those books with the commentaries are available on Amazon. So if you search Swami Gambhiranandaji, he has 8 of those Upanishads he translated at least 8 of them. And then I think also Chandogya Upanishad, which is not in there, but you can get that as a PDF, and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is done by Swami Madhavanandaji, I think. So those are the Upanishads. But Brahma Sutra and the Bhagavad Gita, you can get that on Kindle as well, or Amazon, or any other. It's on Google Play as well, so you can get it there. Those are very important things to read, in my opinion, and they help you to understand the richness that Advaita Vedanta comes from. It's not just simply really knowing that you're it. I mean, that's, anyone can tell you that, and you can feel something. But to know the richness of why that is and how that comes about, and describing the practical application of that, that's really important. You see, nobody can go into a psychotic breakdown if they've gone through the foundational work first. So, for example, the first sutra of the Brahma Sutra is, now therefore an inquiry into Brahman. And what's interesting there is you don't need to be told. What it says there in that very beginning is that you kind of dealt with the there's 4 guidelines that you're meant to have. Those 4 characteristics, we've spoken about them before as well. So do you have control of the mind? Do you have control over your desires? Do you have forbearance? Are you seeking liberation? Can you withdraw your senses within? Can you withdraw your mind within? Can you just simply observe? These little things. When an emotion comes up, are you able to stop an action from forming from that emotional turbulence that's created? If those things aren't addressed prior to realization, they will come up after realization. And when they come up after realization, what you don't realize is that the truth hasn't entered deeply into your being. So here, and this is very important to understand, and this is why Advaita Vedanta is such an incredible philosophy. So, or Vedanta in general, you have the causal body, the Karana Sharira. We've spoken about this previously, but even more so, that's where avidya still functions. Ignorance, the individual ignorance, not ignorance as in you don't know facts, not that type of ignorance, the ignorance of your true nature, or the not knowledge of your true nature. Now that is known as anadi, beginningless. So what happens is when you have somebody who tells you what the direct truth is without you doing the required work to do so, so where you're not a seeker, one, you're not going to appreciate the teaching as much, and even if you do, it's just the surface level. It's not going to go deep into the Karana Sharira. It's not going to actually address the avidya. So the vidya, the knowledge, in order to transcend the avidya, will not do much. So because that ignorance is also beginningless, you can feel like, oh yeah, I've gained something. But actually, all you've got is this kind of void of ignorance that you've not dealt with. And what the Vidya does, what the Brahma Vidya does, what the knowledge of Brahman does, this Brahma Jnana that we talk about, what that does, it deals with the avidya, with the ignorance that you have, and says, you know what, this is not real. This is a veil upon the truth. And my course goes into this. My course has a special section on just avidya. It's a whole week where we go into avidya. And the whole point is to bring it out, to remove it completely. So you know that each week that I have in the course is literally a progression. You have to progress. If you don't, I would say you just stay on the current week until you've addressed those things. And the very first lesson that we talk about is suffering. The very first week is based on suffering. So the whole point is that all these things have to be addressed. And so where do you start? Like I said, the Upanishads, then the Brahma Sutras, then the Bhagavad Gita. Now a lot of people read the Bhagavad Gita. It's all good. You can start with the Bhagavad Gita, but to truly understand the depth that Sri Krishna talks about, you need to know the Upanishads. And therefore, to know the Upanishads, to understand them fully, you need the Brahma Sutra. So you need all three of them. And therefore, after you dealt with those doubts and delusions that the Brahma Sutra addresses, then you can practically apply it. It becomes a lot easier. So the Bhagavad Gita makes a lot more sense, because a lot of people can view the Bhagavad Gita as a dualistic text, all because they've not checked the other two. All because of that. And the other aspect is, the reason why we would look at Vedanta Sara beforehand is because we need to know the definition. So when you go into the Upanishads, it becomes a familiar kind of playing field for you. So I would say check out Swami Sarvapriyanandaji's Vedanta Sara lectures. They're much better than what I'm going to share with you. He is a great teacher of Vedanta, and his explanations and his way of teaching is just beautiful. And I would always say check him out, check his work. But yes, I would just probably give you a more quick, concise version, and less kind of formal. But make sure that you understand that the groundwork is necessary, and don't try to jump too far. Someone had written actually a comment in on one of my videos today. I saw it today, and it was about how no foundation is necessary because we are it. I mean, I can't say that person is wrong from the ultimate perspective, but even from the ultimate perspective, he'll be like, yeah, but the foundation was necessary for you. For example, so my son's going through physical therapy because he's delayed in walking right now. And the biggest concern was, well, even if we get him from sitting to walking, he will struggle to get up. So we need him to crawl, because that will be an easier step for him to then get up to walk. So he can get to his knees and walk. So that path cannot be, that step cannot be, you can't forget the steps that you took to walk, basically. So everything has a process. So if you are truly understanding of Vedanta, of the truth, then you know that or if you know the power of the realization, then you know that one has to fully understand the groundwork. So that's my little spiel. But let me know your thoughts. Let me see if you disagree. Like, comment, and subscribe, and rate and review. Share this, and most of all, if you have any questions, let me know, and join my Discord community, and we can definitely chat more there. Okay, thank you. Take care. Namaste.